من رأى منكم منكرا فليغيره بيده فإن لم يستطع فبلسانه فإن لم يستطع فبقلبه وذلك أضعف الإيمان. Hadith. The Messenger of Allah, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon him, says, whoever of you sees something evil, let him change it with his hand, and if he is not able, then with his tongue, and if he is not able, then with his heart, and that is the weakest of faith. This hadith in this form has been narrated authentically by Al-Imam Muslim. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam commands that evil deeds, they have everything prohibited by Allah and His Messenger, and that they should be changed according to one's ability. So if one sees something evil, he should change it with his hand, if he has the ability to do so. If he's unable to do this, then he should change it with his tongue by forbidding the one who commits it or speaking against it, demonstrating its harm to him and guiding him to goodness instead of that evil. If he is unable to fulfill this level, then he should change it with his heart by disliking that evil deed and determining to change it if he has the ability in future. Changing evil deeds with the heart is the lowest level of faith in this regard, according to the nas of this hadith, the proof of this hadith. Let us quickly look at some fawaid before I go into some few details concerning degradation in forbidding evil. From this hadith, the number one benefit is that this hadith is a key source on outlining the levels of changing evil deeds. 2, we are enjoined to adopt gradation in forbidding evil deeds, each according to his capacity and ability. 3, forbidding evil deeds is a fundamental element in the deen, and it does not cease to be due upon everyone. Rather, every Muslim is obligated in accordance with this ability. 4, enjoining what is right and forbidding what is evil is one of the characteristics of Iman, faith, and Iman increases and decreases according to how one dispenses his Iman, how one utilizes his Iman or one displays his Iman. 5, for forbidding evil, it is required to know that the act in question is actually evil. 6, for changing something evil, it is also required that this does not lead to greater evil. In changing something less evil, you should be careful not to open the gates to a greater evil. 7, forbidding evil has certain etiquettes and requirements that should be learned by Muslims. 8, forbidding evil needs a Sharia policy, knowledge, and insight, not just a haphazard approach to forbidding evil. 9, the lack of disapproval of something evil within the heart is an indication of weak faith, even though there is faith. So we look at this, and I just want to quickly correct some misconceptions concerning correcting evil, as we do today on social media and virtually everywhere among Muslim community. Now, changing evil by one's hand should be done by those who are able to do that, such as those in positions of authority and the bodies in charge of such matters in the areas over which they are being appointed. It's not the responsibility of everyone in the Muslim community to speak against evil or get involved in stopping evil. The ruler in the area over which he has been appointed, the judge in the area over which he has been appointed, and by a man in his own house with his children and the members of his household, as much as they can. So you should have jurisdiction and should have the capacity to control that jurisdiction. But if one is not able to do that, or for example, if changing it with his hand will lead to fitna, tribulation, and conflict, and cause more harm than good, then he should not change it with his hand. Rather, he should change it with his tongue by speaking out. That will be sufficient. Less changing it with his hand will lead to a worse evil, that which is seeking to change, than that which one is seeking to change. This is virtually the ijma of the scholars, that in stopping evil, one must be circumspect in not opening the flask or gates of greater evil to the extent that the lesser evil cannot be stopped, nor the greater evil also stopped. In the case of changing evil with one's tongue, it is sufficient for one to say, "Oh my brother, oh my sister, fear Allah. This is not permitted. You should stop this. You should do such and such," and teach them the way of Tawheed or the Sunnah with proofs and the other good words spoken in a proper manner. Kalimatul Tayyibah. Now, after the tongue comes the heart. That is hating evil in one's heart, showing that one hates it, and manifesting this in writing or speech. Not sitting with those who do it. Not just mingling with people and say, "Well, this is not a time to speak against evil. Let's give it some time." There are people who say this. All of these come under the heading of changing it with one's heart. And Allah is the source of strength. This hadith in this wording is actually the hadith of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. We have said about him in some previous translations. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, from a young companion, he became a prominent jurist of Medina and a scholar of hadith. His name was Sa'ad bin Malik bin Sinan, but he was popularly known by his al-kunya Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiyallahu anhu wa ardah. His father was a Sahabi, his mother was a Sahabiya, and his family were entirely Sahaba. His father took Shahada, was a Shaheed during the battle of Uhud. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri was present during the pledge of Ridwan, and a learned man from the companions of the bench. He is a trusted point of reference for people. He issued legal edicts fatwa for a long time among the Sahaba. And he said that once he fell ill, and so the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam visited him. His sister served Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam lamb, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to eat it a little and loved it. Let me just mention this. Concerning this Sahabi, Sa'ad bin Malik bin Sinan, Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Whoever wishes to see a man whose blood has mixed with my blood, he should look at Malik bin Sinan." Subhanallah. This was because during the battle of Uhud, when the noble Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's blessed face was wounded, Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Malik bin Sinan, with great fervor, sucked the blood, flowing blood of sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and swallowed it. And he did not allow a single drop to fall on the ground. There are some athar that indicate that whoever has his blood mixed with the blood of sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah would not punish them, even though some of the scholars make the da'if of this riwayah. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri became a passionate teacher of the Quran. He devised a special method for teaching the book of Allah. It is said that after teaching 5 ayahs in the morning, he would teach 5 more in the evening. It is said that Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas used to advise his son, and even advised Sayyidina Ali radhiallahu anhu and his student Ikrimah to learn a hadith from Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Sa'ad bin Malik bin Sinan. It is said that sometimes they would go to him. He would be tending to his garden, but upon seeing them, he would wrap himself in a shawl and begin to narrate a hadith. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. During his old age, before his death, he said to his son, "I have grown old and my time is near. So take my hand." Thus, with the support of his son, he went to an empty part of Baqi al-Gharqad cemetery in Medina and said to his son, "When I pass by, bury me here." He further announced to a group of the Sahaba, radiyallahu anhum ajma'in, that when I die, bury me in the clothes in which I would offer salah and perform the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when the affliction of illness came to him, which was his final illness, some people came to inquire about his well-being, but he was unconscious at the time. When he regained consciousness, the people said, "It is time for salah, O Malik bin Sinan." He replied, "I have already prayed through gestures, and that is sufficient for me." Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Sa'ad bin Malik bin Sinan, radiyallahu anhu wa ardah, passed away in Medina on a Friday in the sacred month of Muharram at the age of 86 years in the 74th year of Hijrah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.